Hello, hello. It's D Train here one more time for another one with a little bit more bunk. This is some bunk, and it's kind of, you know, I find myself sometimes I laugh at stuff that people think are really serious. I mean, but it's kind of not, and I laugh at it, but it is kind of serious. And then I find these things that are kind of funny, but it's not. And I kind of, I kind of take things like this a little bit more seriously sometimes because it goes to something deeper. Uh, I guess in my mind. So yeah, there's another cake issue. Okay, and yeah, so I named this "Stop with the Cake Issues." Summa Cum Laude. And what else? What was the last part? Oh yeah. Make Latin mandatory for at least one semester. At least. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Okay, stop with the cake issue. So this lady went in and bought a cake at the Publix somewhere. Where was it? Where was the cake made? You know what? Let's do it. Let's do a little screen share right quick. We're gonna listen to the thing and see what they say, because they'll tell you what happened, and I'm just gonna tell you what I think about what happened. You know.
The signs of a graduation party are still left around the house of the Kaczynski family. Jacob graduated Saturday with the highest honors from a Christian-based homeschooling program, so his mom ordered a cake.
He did not know we were getting a cake because he's not a big cake eater.
He's a Christian.
So we were all standing there waiting to see it, and when we opened it, it was a huge shock to all of us.
Kara Kaczynski explained how she ordered the 3/4-inch sheet cake online through Publix. But when she requested the bakery include Jacob's honor, she was alerted profane or special characters weren't allowed. Kara clarified her request with special instructions.
The website had censored me, and this is a website you can refer to for the Latin term for summa cum laude, which means with highest honors.
Kara said when her husband picked up the cake from Publix on Savannah Highway and Main Road, he didn't know the bakery omitted the middle Latin word. It was replaced with hyphens.
The cake experience was kind of frustrating and humiliating because I had to explain to my friends and family like what that meant. They were giggling uncontrollably. At least my friends were.
The Kaczynski said a manager
his friends didn't know what it meant.
Apologized and offered a refund. For now, they're
I had to explain to my friends
over dessert and looking forward
what
to
that
Jacob's
was,
freshman
because
year
they didn't
at
know.
Wingate University.
Wingate. Okay. So there are issues all over the place with this, and there's some problems all around. Look, number one, we go up here to the what you call oops. We usually go up here to the if we need a cake done, we go up to the store and we say, "Hey, look, we want this cake." And we know the girl's name. My kids have known Tanya since they were little. I think Tanya still works there because my kids go there. And they just know her. And what we do is, if we always buying cakes. My kids, they're always conning me and my wife into buying a cake. It could be anything. It could be nothing. It could be hey, it's Wednesday. Hey, I got a good grade on something. It'll be it could be anything, right? So we like, yo, Tanya, can you write Juliana da 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 blah, 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 and that's it. See, the problem is we getting into this technological age a little bit too much. We need to get back to the basics, man. We need to get to the point where we can just, talk to people and be like, yo, man, I need this written on the cake. You ain't gonna have no problems with that, are you? I'm just playing. It don't have to be all confrontational. But you know what I'm saying? It'd be nice if we could just talk to each other and just be like, yo, man, it's, they graduated summa cum laude. The person that worked at the thing, they probably would have known what that meant, right? I thought it was, before I listened to this time, I thought that the person making the cake didn't know what it meant, and that's the main issue. But no, that ain't the issue. The issue is the technology. I'm trying to find the cake on here. I'm sorry if it looks weird. Yeah. So really the problem isn't with the person, it's with the person who wrote the program. And the program probably said, nah, man, we can't be putting, that word on the cake. And so the program writer needs to basically needs to have they need to fire that programmer. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the programmer didn't take Latin. I don't know. But still, I'm gonna stick with that though. I think everybody should take a semester of Latin, somewhere between middle school, like sixth, seventh grade, and ninth grade. Somewhere in between there, I think everybody should have to take Latin, because there's so many. Look, when I first started taking Latin, man, I'm telling y'all, man, I was about to drop that class. I was done. I was like, I told the teacher, I was like, hey, I wanted to be a doctor and this and that, but it was just like, I was looking around. There's two other black people in the class, right? And that never, it wasn't like I wasn't used to being like one of the only black people in any of my, that's not the issue. It was just like Latin. And then I was looking at some of the material, what we were going to be learning, and it was like a lot of history, and I hated history until I graduated high school and college. I didn't like history. I didn't like the right. You know what I mean? It was just like a lot of work. I didn't want to take it. I told the teacher, I said, look, I'm probably going to drop this class. I mean, I'm looking at the syllabus and I'm looking at all the work, man. I was like, I'm probably going to drop it. I didn't drop it. I stuck in there. Miss Dawson, she made it so interesting. Like, you can tell when a teacher is passionate about something. That's why I feel like I had the best Latin teacher in the world. She had me sign up for Latin poetry reading competitions every year. All 4 years. I won 2 years, my first and my last. It was me and this other guy. It was like me and this other guy. It was just all us two, either winning it or getting second place. But what I learned in the first few days, weeks of taking Latin was you really have to know some Greek too. But Latin is a lot of bases of words that you didn't realize that had Latin bases. I mean, you're looking at words and I'm like, oh, that looks familiar. So when this came out, I thought the person didn't know that but it was it sounds like it was a programmer, and they just let it go. And, whatever the program said, whatever, and now it's a big story. I thought it was going to be like, another one of those, I refuse to make the cakes. except it was completely opposite. The Christian wants the cake now. Now you won't put their message on the cake. Although it had nothing to do with religion. This was just it doesn't look like it was that. But you never know. They could be an algorithm. So no summa cum anything. Let's boycott the summa cum laudes. I doubt that's it. But you learn so much in the first semester of taking Latin. I mean, you're conjugating verbs. I don't know what I know. I had to learn every tense, how to conjugate every, like, Moama Samat. I am, you are, he, she, it is. And then that's just a singular. Then you got to go, Mama Samata Samat. We are, you all are, and they are. You know what I mean? And that's just the present tense. So you got 6 different words or endings of 4 words, and sometimes the endings of the base had to change just so the ending on the other part changes. I mean, it works with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just that's just like present tense. Okay, so it really helps breaking down the different things, and I'm not saying it's for everybody, but anytime you take any of these Romance languages, so like Spanish, Portuguese, you can go down to Italian, French, all of that. And a lot of our words have bases that come from it, and so it just like kind of opened up another segment of my brain that was like, oh, okay. And I really don't know how much I use it, but I feel like I use it a lot now at this point without really knowing it, and having that base. It just goes along with those other topics, those other courses that we say should be taught in school. You know what I mean? Now they teach this, but it's not mandatory. I'm not saying everybody got to do it, but I think it would go a long way if people at least took a foreign language. And it's weird because English is a Germanic based language, but we have so many influences from so many different other languages. And it's kind of funny. You can go to Hungary, right? And I see a stop sign, and it looks like stop, but they say stop because they say their S's like SH's, all right? But it looks like the same word, so all of these, I'm sure all of these different languages are borrowing, between each other, but I feel like if we had a good base, and now this part of the damn thing doesn't have anything to do with the main topic, because I feel like it was a complete computer glitch that nobody really followed up on, and the person that got the thing for the cake, it was blacked out like that, so they just did what the thing said do, right? That's what I want to believe anyway. That's what I want to believe now that I heard it again. I want to believe that. But it could be that they just didn't know. And if that's the case, then yeah, everything else I said, would apply to this. But I also believe that, the earlier, I don't know, the earlier they get introduced with some kind of Latin, I would say Latin, Latin would be the first one. Then you can just decide whichever way you want to go after that. You know, if you want to go Portuguese, Italian, French, all the other ones, you know. Not to say anything about the other ones, you know, like, you know, German and because German, that would be good just to understand your own language, really. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So, yeah. Therefore, on the other hand, nevertheless, word, peace.